Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dingle. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
We have Mike in the back, and Jason is out and about. He's drumming up new business for his farm. Actually, he's on vacation with his wife, but it sounds a lot better than that. And we have a really special guest today, Sheridan with Claggs Waste Disposal. Sheridan's husband, David, started a business about 7.5 years ago. And that was in waste disposal, etc. They developed from one customer into many hundreds of customers through hard work, dedication, through just dealing with people. Sheridan was awarded the Small Business of the Year for 2013 from the Gallia Chamber of Commerce. They also, that same year, March 2013, was a Small Business of the Month. They've been very active with a number of the different programs, such as the Red Hat Society, the Chamber of Commerce, the River Rec. Sheridan was even the Sheriff Sheridan for the kids on part of the program at the River Rec, and we'll have to find out about that. Sheridan has had the opportunity to teach several of the classes that I'm involved with, as well as some other individuals, in helping students understand what it's like to be involved with business. Sheridan and I have formed a unique friendship, if you want to call it that, because it's interesting how she has grown from that one customer to a multi-hundred customer kind of business, etc. So Sheridan, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you on our show. You have accomplished a lot.
Oh, we have accomplished a lot. Claggs Waste Disposal, August of '06. David started picking up garbage. He had 5 customers, 4 paid, and he went to the dump the first time with 5 customers on the back of that truck, and it's grown ever since.
Oh, I think that's fantastic. You know that trash collection, a lot of individuals feel that perhaps that's not a good business to get into because you're picking up somebody's other person's trash. But on the same token, it is a good business if you do it right.
Well, if it's done right, you have to remember that safety. You need to have good quality gloves. You need to be dressed properly. Make sure that you throw those clothes in the not in the garbage, throw those clothes in the washer machine every day, you know, because garbage is filthy.
Yeah, and you know, keeping clean and things of that nature. As a matter of fact, a little bit later we're going to show a video. You have some tips that help we consumers that when we get ready to tie up our trash, etc. Perhaps it'll make our keeping the area clean.
Well, that, and it also helps to keep a better repertoire with your garbage person, you know. If they don't have to stand out in bad weather and try and tie those bags, or you know, something like that, or a piece of paper comes out of your garbage or their garbage truck when they're going down the road, that's an insecure load fine for one piece of paper.
That is amazing. You know, I've had the opportunity to talk with you about some of the rules and regulations when it comes to keeping trash. Some things I did not know. One of them has to do with tires. Somehow our back of the garage, we collect old used tires. Someone puts old used tires by our garage, and you know we don't want them. So I think I mentioned to you I was going to put it in the trash can, and what did you say?
Oh, no. No. You call your health department, and they can let you know what's the best way to dispose of them, because landfills don't take them. Most landfills, I should say. Every landfill has their own regulations. So, but the best way to do it is call the health department. They can tell you how to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Same thing with like computer components and things like that.
Yeah, see, I thought you just threw them in the trash.
No, no, no. Not if you want to recycle. And tires you don't put in there anyway.
You know, it's interesting, there's a number of countries that, or companies that will do something with used tires.
Yes, yes,
Because
we would love to get into that. We really would. We try and recycle as much as we can. You know, metals and stuff like that. We're not able to do like a recycling like they do like in the towns. But metal, we have a metal pile where once the metal goes up in price, we go and take it and recycle it. And then we take that money and put it back into the company to try and help keep our costs down.
That's really interesting. Is recycling such a big business now?
Yes, it is.
And is it because people are more conscientious of?
I think so. I think so. I've got several people that they recycle so much that they don't need a garbage person, and they've gotten, you know, they don't have us for garbage service anymore.
Well, I noticed that when you go to like a fast food place or a pizza place or some place that you're bringing home, there is a lot of packaging.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And if there was a way to be able to section it out, you know, they could recycle all of that paper too. I'd love to see what is the name of those centers? It's like a recycle center where they go and dump all the garbage in this big thing, and it just kind of goes up, and the glass all goes in one place and the paper all goes in another place.
It would be nice to have a sorter. Like
yeah,
that.
and very little actually goes to a landfill.
That's interesting. You know, and talking about landfills, you were telling us a little bit about some of the rules and regulations that they're operating under. For instance, something I did not know that, as we were discussing, they put a tarp underneath where they're going to be. Yeah,
it's a liner.
A liner.
A liner underneath where the garbage is going to be, and then they layer the garbage in there. And each evening, they'll go and put dirt over top of it and press it down to. It's kind of like layering, sort of like a cake.
Yeah.
Layering a cake.
And it's my understanding with the tarp, so that the water, the excess or the bad water, does not leach into
the groundwater. Yeah.
Yeah. I found that rather.
That's contaminating.
And I also understand that landfills generate methane.
Yes.
And the methane, if you bury garbage, etc., sometimes you have to have some kind of.
Well, it's like yard debris. We do not accept yard debris. The reason being is that it can actually cause a fire at landfills, and Gallia landfill has had a couple fires that I know of back when we were going there. And you know, we don't know for sure what started it, but green debris from your yard will cause a fire at a landfill.
So like leaves and
yeah, the most grass cuttings, the really green stuff.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. And the other thing, before we see your video, do deals with paint. Some of us sometimes get enough energy to go out and paint our house.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
When you paint your house, of course.
You have some left over.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
left over, etc. So how do people get rid
Cat
of
litter.
Cat litter?
Cat litter.
What do you mean?
You take cat litter and pour it in the paint can.
Yeah.
And take a stir stick, because if you painted, you have stir sticks.
Huh.
And you just stir it up really good, make it a solid, and then you put the lid back on it and tap it down. I talk with my hands.
Oh, well, that's all right. And then you can throw it into.
Yeah. Then you just, well, for us, you know, like I said, every landfill, every county is different, but you just put it out with your garbage. You don't have to put that in a bag.
Okay. And one other question, you know, these energy efficient light bulbs, do they have to be, can they just be thrown away normally? I heard at one time that you had to recycle those. Is that true or not?
I've not heard anything like that.
Okay, all right, good.
I haven't heard anything like that, but we do ask people to at least put them in a box and not put them in the garbage bag.
Okay.
Because they seep down into the bottom of the bag, and when you go to throw the bag, you have your hand up here and this hand back on the bottom, and you get cut
Okay.
from the glass. Right. Same thing with like broken dishes, you know, glasses, beer bottles, whatever.
Okay. What about fluorescent lights, those long tubes?
What about them?
Same
thing.
Right.
Yeah, but you just got to be careful because, you know, the glass, again, you know.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Well, you did bring with you a video, which on some of the safety tips, and maybe we can convince Mike to play that video if you want. No? Mike is shaking his head no?
Okay.
I'm Sheridan with Claggs Waste Disposal Services. Let's talk about the importance of keeping a clean area around your home and garbage area. We're going to look at some tips to help to keep your garbage secure until your garbage service can pick it up. Each landfill has their own regulations, and we have to go by whatever they say. Like yard debris, we're not allowed to take yard debris to the landfills because it starts fires. Take cat litter and put in the can with the paint and stir it up and make it a solid, and then put the lid back on it, seal it up. As long as it's a solid, we can throw it in there. We cannot take tires at all. There's extra fees. If we put a tire on there and they find them, we get fined $65 plus whatever they decide to charge us per tire. Through the health department, they do have recycling days where you can take your electronics in. They'll take care of the recycling for you.
The summer months are very difficult with the bugs because a lot of people don't put the lids on their garbage cans properly, and the bugs are able to get into the garbage. And once they get into the garbage, especially flies, you have the maggots. They breed like crazy, the bugs and the flies and all that. Also, you have to worry about the rodents getting into it. It's easier for the rodents to get into the garbage when you don't have the lids on properly.
And here you notice there's a garbage can with the lid cocked over to the side, which is a magnet for critters and flies to get in it. And with flies, you have maggots. So if you make sure that you get the lid on securely, get down good, and put both clips up, you're less likely for animals to be able to get into it, or the flies. And without the flies, you don't have the maggots. And here's another tip. Your garbage man will love you if you do this. You take your garbage bag and you tie it in a secure knot, which is a double knot, just like that. And when you carry it, you don't carry it by the strings. You carry it by the top. And then you just put it with your garbage.
David enjoys being in business because he likes making his own hours. He likes dealing with the public for the most part. That's when he's happiest, is when he's out there doing.
And here we have some boxes. You get stuff in the mail or you're going through your house. All you do is clean the stuff out of the box. Break it down flat. And put it with your garbage. Regarding food waste during the week, what I've found to be very effective is I take a gallon-sized baggie and keep it in the bottom of my refrigerator every week. And anytime I have any leftovers or scraps, I scrape it off into the baggie and leave it there all week. And on my pickup day, I put it into one of the bags to be picked up by the garbage service. It helps keep down on the smell and the maggots. Throughout the week, garbage accumulates in the garbage cans. And on pickup day, like most of us, we go through the home and get all of the remaining household garbage and take it out to the garbage cans for pickup. Many of us do this before we go to work early in the morning, and the garbage service pickup may be scheduled for later that day, which means that it will be exposed to critters, wild and domestic. Here's what I do to help keep the critters out of the garbage, and I found this to be very effective. This is chipped up bath soap. I use a shredder for it, and you need to use like a deodorant soap, very strong smelling. And this is the cayenne pepper. And if you use the cayenne pepper, please make sure that you let your garbage service know so they use a good quality glove so they don't get it all on them. And all you do is you open it up like this, and just take a handful of it, and you sprinkle it around. Wild animals do not like our smell. Make sure that you keep it in a cool place so that it doesn't melt, because it will melt. The cayenne pepper, you just take it like this. And with our garbage service, the guys do know what the red stuff is, and they use good quality gloves.
The accounting is the behind the scenes stuff. It takes long hours, and it's very tedious, and you have to be very, very accurate with it. When he first started this company, everything was done with ledger sheets and handwritten bills, and it just took longer and longer and longer to get it done. And handwriting it, there's always the mistakes. Claggs Waste Disposal Services decided to go into the computer age, and now we've got the computer with the programming, and it's wonderful.
Hey, that was a good video. A lot of useful tips. You did mention critters and bugs, and you got my curiosity. I live in the city.
Yeah, but this time of year, you don't have to worry about critters and
Well,
bugs as
you know,
much.
that's
Well,
probably true.
critters, yeah, because raccoons and possums and wild cats and dogs, they're still looking for something to eat.
Ah, I see. So you consider those to be critters. You know, in town, I
Mm-hmm.
would imagine so. You ever, did deer ever bother the trash?
No, the garbage, no. But you got the rats and especially with you living down close to the river, I call them wharf rats.
Wharf rats.
Without the tail, they're about this big.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty big, and we've actually had them jump at the guys when they open the can to get the
Wow.
garbage. Yeah.
And that's because they left the lids half on?
Yeah, or they have their some people have a thing they build to put their garbage in.
Oh, I see.
And if they don't put wire on the bottom or some kind of a wood bottom and put like some rat poison or something inside You don't want, cats and dogs to get hold of the rat poison, but if they don't do something to prevent it, they're going to get in it.
Oh, that's interesting. Another thing that I found to be very, very true, especially when it starts getting cold, is that mice will come into the house.
Oh, yeah. They want someplace warm just like you do.
And what usually follows mice are what? Snakes.
Oh, yes. Oh,
And
yes.
I would imagine that...
Put bath soap around your house.
Bath soap.
Mm-hmm.
So has David or the hired help, have they ever run across snakes?
Well, I don't think so, because if they had of, they would have told me. I'm quite certain I would have heard about that.
Maybe they screamed like little
Like little girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to tell you. Sometime I'll have to tell you the story about my encounter with a snake. I did not scream, but
I did.
so the bugs. Now, obviously it's too cold for the bugs. Am I not correct?
Right, yeah. At least here it is.
What kind of bugs give a lot of problems during the summertime?
Flies.
Flies?
When you have flies, you got maggots, and if people don't put the can lids on properly, you're going to have the flies attracted. And sometimes you have them before you ever put them in your can, and once they're in the can, then it's extremely hot in the can if it's in the sunlight. So there's going to be, bugs. I hate maggots.
I really don't like them either.
No.
But one of the things that you were mentioning, something about just rinsing out pop bottles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cans.
If you rinse out pop bottles and rinse out your cans from your food, when you put them in there, it helps deter a lot of that.
Well, it's my understanding, it's not just for the safety of the trash people, but it's more for the safety of the homeowners.
The homeowners. I mean, if you don't have that smell, you're not going to be, you're not going to have the animals attracted going, hey, there's a meal.
I understand. Well, whether you live out in the country or whether you live in the city, etc.,
Well,
we all have.
I've lived in both places, and city and country, and because I was raised in the country. And
You grew up in Georgia, right?
yes, I grew up in Georgia.
Up in Georgia, in a little burg.
Yeah, in a little tiny town in Georgia, middle Georgia.
Let's see, you went to the big city. What was that, Charleston?
Charleston, South Carolina. I was there during Hugo.
Hugo?
Yeah,
And
that
you
was a
went to-
trip.
You went to Mansfield Business College.
Hmm.
What'd you think of the business college?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot there. Now this is back, in the early '90s. I'm talking like
Before
real
the turn of
early
the
'90s.
century.
Yeah, real early '90s. I mean, they even taught me how to write programs, pertaining to accounting and stuff. And there ain't no way I could do it now. Everything's changed too much.
Well, it's the technology, but I think you have kept up on the technology. Oftentimes, a business gets involved in a certain way of doing things, and they don't keep up with the technology. But
Right.
you,
Right. Well, I fought tooth and nail to get computerized on the billing system. It's cut back on a lot of time. To hand write the bills, it was taking me between 5 and 7 days to actually write the bills, and now the bills are actually printed out in 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. I just go back through and make sure that everybody's in there and it shows everything that needs to be done.
to the listening audience, one of the things that Sheridan had mentioned to me in starting up the accounting, that she would rather see it in a using a pencil and paper first to make sure that it's accurate, and then computerize it. And I thought that was one of the smartest things any
Well-
business owner could do.
Now,
Yes,
I'm completely computerized.
that's right. But you have established
Yeah,
a
oh yeah.
system.
Yeah, we went through right almost 7 years of actually handwriting.
And, the system down, and I've been fortunate to see some of your systems.
Mhm.
And they've been very, very good. So it's a little bit of creativity.
Mhm.
It's getting the job done.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about your customers. I would imagine with as many customers that you have, that everyone is the same, personality-wise.
No, they're not. People are people. Everybody has good days and everybody has bad days. And some people you can joke with and they're really kind of cool to talk to. And some people, they're cool to talk to and it takes time to get off the phone with them. But we call every customer if we can't come to get your garbage on your day. We call you
Good.
and let you know why we can't come get it and when we will. We believe in staying in touch with our customer base and letting them know what's going on. We are on Facebook, and we tell everybody, like us on Facebook, and that way if there's any changes, that's the first place I go before I
Sure.
start calling.
Sure, I understand. Since you live out into the rural area, let's talk a little bit. Oftentimes, larger trucks can't get down some of the lanes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why one of the major trucks that you do have is like a fenced-in cage.
Yeah, it's like a cage.
Uh-huh.
And that truck, our big truck, sometimes we have trouble getting down it. David will take the Sawzall on his day off and go and cut limbs off, get permission, of course.
Sure.
And go and cut limbs to where we don't tear our tarps.
Oh, that's a good point.
Tarps are expensive.
Yeah. So if I were to start a service, I would need to have a cage also, is that correct?
Well, I mean, everybody has their own way of doing it. That's just the system we chose.
But is it didn't you mention if a piece of paper comes off?
One piece of paper is an insecure load fine. A cigarette cellophane gum wrapper, anything.
Huh, that's interesting. We only have about 2 more minutes. And I had promised the last time that you were on that you were going to tell some humorous stories, but we're running out of time again.
Shucks.
And so you're going to have to keep those humorous stories or give Sheridan a call. Hey, Sheridan, how can people get in touch with you?
They can call the office at 740
740
379
379
2696.
2696 and ask for Sheridan.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm the one that takes most of the calls, and just let me know what area you're in, and I'll let you know if we pick up in that area.
Okay.
And if I don't know, I'll have to ask David.
Okay. All right. And you're also on Facebook,
Yes.
and Facebook is
Claggs Waste Disposal Services.
it's all one word, Claggs.
I believe so.
Okay. But if you start Googling Claggs Waste, then
It should pop up.
it should pop up. Sheridan, again, it's a pleasure always having you come on our show.
Well, thank you, Patrick.
And talking about some of the different kinds of things. We have made available on our YouTube, Sheridan's YouTube on her tips. And Sheridan, it's always a pleasure. I hope that you come back very, very soon.
Uh-huh.
She said she was nervous, and I don't like that. Next week, we're going to have Eric Mattson. Eric is with the University of Rio Grande in the wood technology. Then the following week, we have Dr. Richard Sachs, who's the new provost here at the University of Rio Grande. And then following up will be Dr. Michelle Johnston with the University of Rio Grande, the president. I'm Patrick.
I'm Sheridan.
Thank you for listening.